1 in 2 of you will have been in receipt of an act of kindness in the last day. 1 in 8 in the last hour. Most people will say that they think that levels of kindness have either stayed the same or gone down in their lifetime. And at the same time, that kindness has gone up significantly since the beginning of our COVID pandemic. Kindness has the power to change our day, our lives, our community, and the lack of it leads to loneliness, isolation, and social breakdown. I hope the next 10 minutes or so will be an act of kindness to you as we explore this simple and radical aspect of being human. On the one hand, it is one of the things that we barely notice. It's just part of our everyday life. Someone holds the door open, slows down so that we can go past, a driver pauses so that we can cross the road, and someone makes you a cup of tea when you get home. On the other hand, kindness is crucial to our own mental health. Both being kind and being in receipt of kindness are crucial to our social fabric and establishing relationships of trust and openness, and can easily turn a difficult, hard or sad day into something at least slightly easier and happier. We don't give much attention to it, but it can quite literally be the social and personal fuel that powers our personal and community life. It's also one of the fruit of the Spirit that Paul lists in one of his letters recorded in the Bible. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I'm going to draw on an ongoing social science research project looking at kindness in everyday life. Research that is being led by the University of Sussex in collaboration with the BBC. If you're interested, then you should search for The Anatomy of Kindness on BBC Sounds. This research draws on the responses of 60,000 people and so represents the largest study of its kind on the phenomenon of kindness. When asked for words associated with kindness, the top words in the research were empathy, care, helping, thoughtfulness, compassion, and love. Kindness is as much about motivation as it is about the act itself. Empathy, care, compassion, and love are sources of motivation. They drive us to act, and the act is seen as an act of kindness. At its root, kindness is relational. It is something that happens between persons. Of course, we also say things like be kind to the planet, the environment, animals, nature, and indeed be kind to yourself. They all underline the relational nature of the universe we are in, the interdependence, the connectedness, that we are part of an ecosystem even beyond what our current scientific understanding might suggest. But I'm getting carried away and we need to keep this to less than 10 minutes. Kindness is a relational act. There needs to be an actor of kindness and a recipient of kindness, be that human, animal or environment, while here we might also notice that all those fruit of the Spirit that Paul mentions in his list are all relational. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness and self-control. This, though, is where our deliberations get more challenging. In the research, people were asked, how are you kind to other people in your everyday life. Here are the top 5. Number 5, I have concerned feelings for people less fortunate than me. Number 4, I help strangers to pick things up. Number 3, I open doors to let people through. Number 2, I don't mind doing favours for friends. And the top, number 1, I help people when they ask. You'll have your own reflections on this top 5. I want to offer just 2. Firstly, that kindness does not need to be big, grand gestures. It can be, of course, but the most common and perhaps the most important are the simple and easy things that most people can do. The research goes on to show that kind acts like saying hello to people, to strangers as you pass them, looking them in the face and acknowledging their presence and relationship with you as a member of the local community in which we are all contributors and dependents, have a massive impact. Smiling, as my children say, costs you nothing and can be a huge reward for many. My second reflection is that we can't help but notice the slight reluctance in the top 2 answers. I don't mind, as if it's slightly begrudging, and when they ask. There might be all kinds of roots and reasons for these phrases and the social consciousness that they portray, which we don't have time to explore. We can say generally that they reflect the ongoing project of individualization. That project that says that the individual matters, their dreams, their desires, their needs. The individual becomes the focus of everything, and the individual is responsible. The result is that my resources, my time, my money, my things, my thoughts and my efforts are limited resources. They belong to me and I need them. I don't quite have enough and I'm worried about running out. If I give to you, then I might not have enough for myself. I need to save for a rainy day, for my future, for my luxuries, for my and my family's survival. I don't mind doing favours. I'll help if asked. Grand acts of kindness might seem a long way away, even kindness that's a little costly. So let's start where we are, doing what we can and seeing where it goes. I'm not going to insult your intelligence to start listing ways to be kind. I think we can all write a list. What I would like to do is suggest, why be kind? Look at it as an investment, building and strengthening those social networks, reinforcing the relational nature of our universe, the created order, being more human. Like many investments, there will be days where you feel like you're not getting enough return, and other days that bring a smile to your own face when the returns are plenty. As the Bible says, you reap what you sow. Those who sow sparingly reap sparingly. Those who sow generously reap generously. All that sounds like a rather selfish reason to be kind, that in the end the reason you're kind is because it benefits you. Frankly, yes. But in this case, it's not that you are the winner and someone else loses. To paraphrase the giant sociologist Zygmunt Bauman, because my well-being comes through the well-being of my community, not despite it. For those familiar with investment terms and mathematics, kindness is the ultimate community compound interest. The more we each invest, the more return for everyone. For Paul, writing that list of the fruit of the Spirit in the Bible, it is clear that kindness is not just a sign of God, but the very nature of God. This is the nature of God that we see in the life of Jesus and in the whole of creation. Kindness is evident everywhere as God is reflected and present everywhere. For you and me, being kind in a very real and practical way is an act of joining in with the kindness of God. To paraphrase John from one of his letters recorded in the Bible, God is kind, and all who are kind live in God's kindness, and God's kindness lives in them.